Hey guys, bound to divide here with Abletontips, and today I'm going to be taking you through 3 tom grooves for melodic house and techno. Okay, so we've got 3 reference tracks here. The first one is Drown Remix by Massano, then we've got Moth to a Flame Adriatique Remix, and then we've got the Epiphany Engineering by Enamour. And so I'll play them and you can hear what they sound like, and then I'll take you through how to build the kick and tom groove. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, we're not really going to be going through any of the surrounding elements. It's really just the kick and the tom that we're going over and how to place them to achieve these certain grooves. Okay, so let's rebuild the kick and tom groove for this one. So I'm just going to create a new channel here, and we're going to go into D Premium 6, and we're going to be grabbing kick 001. And we're going to be dropping it on each quarter note over here. So we're just going to duplicate that across and just copy this all the way across, and we're doing this for 4 bars. Okay, so that's our kick drum. Alright, so I'm just going to turn that down a touch. Okay, next up is our tom, our first tom, and the sample that we're using here for that one is tom 022, and that's here in the toms. And it's quite a long sample, and you'll notice that when I put it into the mix here, I've shortened the sample by using a fade. So we're going to drop it on the 8th note over here. So if you divide this up into 8th notes, you'll see we're putting it on the 2nd 8th note. But if we play these together now, the sample's just too long. So we can just click here, hit Control E, and then fade out that sample, make it nice and short. And you also want to turn it down a bit. And then we're just going to basically copy this pattern. So now we're dragging this across, and we're going to be placing it on, instead of on the 8th note, we're placing it on a 16th, the last 16th of this beat. And then we're doing another one on the 8th, and another one on this 8th. And then we're just basically copying that across onto the second half of the 4-bar loop. Okay, then I basically just added a little sample here, tom 2, to enhance the attack of the tom. For that I'm using tom 005, so you can find that here. And we're just going to put a new channel here and just layer this in there. And we're going to make it super short because we only want the click from it. So we're going to just shorten that and then do this, bring that down. And we don't want it to be too loud. It's too much. We're just bringing it down quite a lot. Just so you can just hear it, it's just adding a little bit of texture to the top. And then we're going to layer that the same with all of these. Okay, and then we're doing the kind of like response tom, which is a separate tom. For that we're using tom 22. Oh no, that's the same tom. I think I might have pitched that up. Let's just see. Yeah, so here I pitched that up plus 3 semitones. So we can just take this tom and place it underneath here on that beat. And we're going to shorten this a bit. And we're also going to pitch it up 3 semitones, so it's just a bit higher. Now if we have a look at this. Okay, and you'll see I did a little bit of processing to this tom here. I've just put an OTT on there with the time at 1000%. So I'm just going to copy that OTT and put it onto this. And you can hear how that changes the sound. It gives the transient a lot more emphasis and kind of removes the tonal kind of distortion that's in it. Okay, and I don't think I did any processing on tom 1. Oh, I did do the OTT as well on the first tom. Okay, and then when you add in all of the rest of the stuff, you get a nice, really strong low-end groove.
Hi, this video is sponsored by us. If you like these tutorials and want to support the channel, check out our website packed with online courses and professional sound packs. If you want to cut years of your learning curve, check the PML Beginner to Advanced Music Production program for Ableton Live. You will know Ableton inside out and learn how to write, produce, mix and master complete tracks. You learn step by step at your own speed, from an empty file to professional production, as if we're sitting side by side in the studio. Thank you for listening, and now let's get back to your tutorial.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is the Moth to a Flame remix by Adriatique, and that's this one. Okay, so let me just mute all the tonal stuff here. So again, we only have a kick on each quarter note, and the sample that I'm using here is kick 003. So I'm just going to grab the kick here and just place it on each quarter note like this, duplicate that across, and then we are going to be adding in two other toms, and these ones are kind of like more acoustic sounding toms with a bit of reverb in them. So the first tom sample that we're using is 009. This one, and you can hear how these are like kind of a lot lower, and that's because I've pitched them down and I've also rolled off some high end. So we're just going to drag that in there and pitch them down by 14 semitones. So I'm going to take this and make it -14, and we get this really deep like floor tom. And we've got short ones and we've got long ones. And these short and long notes really add to the groove. Just doing a little fade at the end so that we don't get a click, and that just goes all the way across. Then we're just going to copy this EQ and put it over here. So we're just rolling off some of the high end with this 8th one over here, and that is at 1.3 kilohertz. You can hear how that just basically softens the transient a bit. So again, we have like kind of a call and response thing happening with the toms, and you'll see there's a shorter tom here and a longer tom over here. And so that kind of separates out these two sections and makes this kind of like an A-B thing. Okay, so we're going to add in 003, put it over here, and we're going to do a bit of a fade out. And this one was also pitched down -10. So it's going to sound like this. Let's just shorten that again. And then on this one, is it still -10? Yes, -10. But this time we are opening up this envelope and kind of making it a lot more sustained. And we're bringing down the volume, this one, so it's a bit quieter. And so together they sound like this. Okay, and we also want to roll off some high end from this one. So we're going to just copy the EQ from here and put it on this one too, so that they have sort of the same energy. Okay, so that's the second tom groove, and now I think this one's probably the most interesting tom groove and overall groove. This is Epiphany Engineering. And let's just focus on the kick and the tom. So the overall kick groove is still mainly focusing on that quarter note kick, but we do have a little ghost kick in here. So if we just grab kick 22 here and place it on a new channel, what we want to do is copy this onto the quarter notes, but add in another 8th note kick on the second beat. So we just copy this one over here and we just shorten that. And what we want to do is just turn this one down. So I've got it here -6 dB, because if we keep them sort of all at the same volume, it kind of throws the groove off, takes it away from that like quarter note groove. But if you remove the emphasis from this note by turning it down, you still maintain that quarter note feeling. And let's just copy that across there. and then copy this one. So now you'll hear that. Little ghost note there. Alright, then we have another 2 toms in here, and the first one is tom 20. So I'll just go and grab that. Okay, and we're shortening the tom and fading it out like that. And we're also turning it down -10. So that's landing on the first 16th note. If you divide this into 16ths, you'll see it's the second 16th note. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let's just call it the second 16th. And then you'll see this tom gets repeated over here, but the note is longer. So we just take out that fade. And sorry, we're also pitching this one up. So that one's up 5 semitones. They're actually both up 5 semitones. That's why they look a bit different. Okay, so let's just go +5 here and +5 here. And then just correct those fades and the note lengths again. So I'm just going to set this to narrow, and we'll drag that out to there and bring this down. There we go. And then this one is pretty much fully sustained. So it also, again, has like this call and response thing with the tom note lengths being different. We've also got differences in loudness. Here I've added +4 dB to this. So here we can just go up +4. So this one's louder. Now you get. And then we're going to copy the loud one and put it there and there. Okay, then the second tom that we have is this one. It sounds like this. And that is tom 13. So I'm just going to drag that down here. And we're going to shorten that and just duplicate it. And we should probably add a little bit of a fade to prevent any clicking. I'm just going to bring that down 8 dB. So these together. And this has like a really nice groove when you layer it in with this kick. Without that kick, it won't be as effective. This kind of gives it some bounce. And then we add this again over here to the 16th. So it's like the drums are almost talking to each other. It's really cool. Okay, then there's no processing or anything on this. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this tom groove with all the musical stuff in there. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned a little bit more about tom grooves, kick and tom grooves, and how to build them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.